The Torah begins a new narrative. Now it's the story of Joseph and his brothers, all who are Jacob's sons. In the Torah, it tells us that Joseph was Jacob's favorite son, and he received a beautiful coat that what made him special. It's described either a tunic with long sleeves or many colors. Whatever it was, it really created resentment among his brothers, who saw Joseph not only as his father's favorite, but as someone who might one day rule over them, as foreshadowed by Joseph's dreams. The Torah tells us that Jacob's love for Joseph was rooted in the fact that Joseph was the son of Rachel, Jacob's beloved wife, and his youngest son at the time. This made Joseph particularly dear to Jacob's heart, and the special coat served as a tangible expression of that love. However, the brothers perceived this as an unfair division of affection, which caused their jealousy to grow. Joseph's dreams of ruling over his family only intensified their anger, and their jealousy soon morphed into hatred, leading to their decision to sell him into slavery. The roots of sibling rivalry go back to the very beginning of the Torah, starting with the first siblings, Cain and Abel. In their story, Cain's jealousy of Abel's acceptance by God led to the first murder in human history. This tragic event set the stage for a recurring theme of competition, jealousy, and resentment among siblings that permeates the first book of the Torah. This theme continues with the tension in Abraham's household between Isaac and Ishmael and the mothers, Sarah and Hagar, and the next generation as we explored recently in the story of Jacob and Esau. Jealousy and competition have wreaked havoc among relationships within families, shaping their future in destructive ways. The story of Joseph and his brothers is no different. The rivalry that developed between them is rooted not only in their father's favoritism, but also in a fear that is deeply ingrained in the human experience, the fear of losing love. When one child feels that their sibling is favored, they are struck by the perception that there is not enough love to go around. This belief, whether true or not, often leads to intense feelings of jealousy and resentment. Joseph's brothers, fearful that their father's affection for Joseph would diminish their own standing, turn on him, believing that their love for their father is somehow less valuable because of his love for Joseph. However, this pattern of favoritism does not exist in a vacuum. In many ways, it's the product of generations that became before. Jacob himself had been the recipient of parental favoritism in his own family. Isaac's love for Esau and Rebekah's love for Jacob created divisions that lasted throughout their lives. And also the mothers, Rachel and Leah, had to fight for Jacob's love. These patterns of favoritism passed from one generation to the next, becoming ingrained habits that shaped behavior in the children. What we see in the relationship with Jacob and his sons is not the manifestation of his personal feelings, but the continuation of a familial cycle of division and inequality. The rabbis of the Talmud and later the Hasidic masters have offered profound insight into the issue of jealousy and its destructive power. The Talmud in Masechet Pesachim 113b teaches that the jealousy, lust, and honor-seeking drive a person from the world. Jealousy, when unchecked, has the ability to strip us of our spiritual and emotional well-being. It takes us out of the world of love and peace and drives us toward actions that harm not only others, but ourselves. The Hasidic masters, particularly the Rebbe of Kortsk, taught that jealousy arises from a deep sense of insecurity. The Kortsker Rebbe famously said, "A person who is jealous of another does not realize that there is no shortage of love or blessings in the world. There is enough for everyone. Jealousy, he argued, stems from the inability to recognize the goodness in others and to appreciate one's own unique blessings. This teaching challenges us to confront our insecurities and to understand that love and success are not limited. Each person has their own path, and just as Joseph had a specific role in the story of Jacob's family, each person has a role to play in the broader narrative of the world. In many ways, the story of Joseph and his brothers is a reflection of the destructive power of jealousy. The brothers' jealousy, when left unchecked, led to betrayal, heartache, and years of suffering. Yet, the ultimate lesson of this parashah is not just in the harm that jealousy can cause, but in the healing and reconciliation that can take place when forgiveness is embraced. This is not simply a tale of sibling rivalry, but a story of the power of communication and reconciliation. Joseph's ability to eventually forgive his brothers, spoiler alert, despite the wrongs they did to him, demonstrates the transformative power of clear and open communication. The brothers too undergo a process of reflection and self-awareness, recognizing the harm that their jealousy caused and seeking to make amends with their brother. Some scholars have pointed out that the story of Joseph and his brothers is the longest narrative in the Torah, taking up a significant portion of the book of Genesis. It is often referred to as a novella because of its length. The extended nature of this story suggests the importance the Torah is giving on this essential issue, to find harmony in the home and in our relationships, and this can be achieved with communication and the power of forgiveness when things have gone wrong. In families, open communication is the key to understanding one another's feelings and resolving conflicts. When we take the time to listen and empathize with our siblings or our loved ones, we allow ourselves to see the humanity in each other and to understand that the love we share is not finite. There is enough love, enough success, enough joy for everyone. And by communicating openly, we can overcome the insecurities and fears that fuel rivalry. In the end, the story of Joseph and his brothers offers us both a warning and a hope. It is a warning about the destructive power of jealousy and the devastating impact it can have on families and relationships. But it is also a story of hope, a story of reconciliation, forgiveness, and the possibility of healing. Just as Joseph was able to forgive his brothers and rebuild his relationship with them, so too can we find the strength to overcome our own jealousies and to build stronger, more loving relationships. May we all find the courage to break the cycles of rivalry and jealousy in our lives and to build communities rooted in love, communication, and understanding. And may we learn to see the humanity in others, offering forgiveness where there was once pain and division.